I'm gonna say the N-word. You can't say the N-word, that's racist.
Wow. Well, an opener. I'm proud of you.
You know that opening? You know that, not opening, but that little meme?
It's not from the video we watched, right? With the Shaggy and Shrek thing.
No.
No?
It does end with that, but I play it so little, I make that the most out-of-context thing it possibly can be. There's just one part where I say, okay, so same time next year, guys, and meanwhile it just shows Shrek and Shaggy fight, and then the next one is me laughing hysterically because Shaggy got the N-word pass.
I'm sure you've made it to that point, right, in the editing, where, like, did you get enough clips from that commentary? The very off-topic commentary?
Yeah, I only used, like, 2 small parts, though.
Yeah, we did a commentary on the Oscars this year, which will be up on Slateside someday, and
I'm done.
By the way, we also did a commentary video of something else during that, so it was really fun. That's just the context there.
Yeah. There won't be a lot of it, just don't be too disappointed. I thought it was funnier to keep it out of context. Plus, the audio issues went even into that part. So if you think there's something great that got cut, I probably agree with you, but I had to cut it for audio. I cut out so many of the jokes I made because my audio sucked. I was like, damn it, I wanted to put that in. But I do think that, 22 minutes is the length of the video. I think that's a fair amount of time.
Oh, that's the length, officially? Minus the intro?
Yeah, 22 minutes. Unless if I haven't put the intro in yet. I don't think the intro is going to be any longer than, 15 seconds, though.
Okay.
I might watch through it again, though, and decide to cut something, but I don't think I will at this point.
Yeah.
Hi, Sadie. I'm in my kitchen today because I'm watching my dog.
Welcome officially to episode 75, I think it is.
Yeah, 3/4 of the way to 100.
And we're nearing the end of the 4th season, I believe, and I think it was in the 8-bit episode you told me to work on a new intro, which I haven't yet, but I don't know what you want from me, man.
You do a new intro every season. I said change the music, perhaps.
The music, sorry, that's right. The music.
Yeah.
What should we do then? If we were to change the music, what theme, not copyrighted, would be perfect?
You know what's funny about that copyright thing, actually?
Yeah.
I recently released a new episode of, the first episode of Mackle's TV Dinners. And I used tons of copyrighted music in that, but I did a little thing just to see if it would work. Where most of the time there was copyrighted music, I was talking over it, so it wasn't noted. Because basically they they compare wavelengths in the sound. What I did is I started, whenever I use music without there being talking over it, I just changed the pitch slightly to a point where it was still it didn't sound horrible, but it was kind of different, and I didn't get even a copyright notice from the video. I also alter the footage a ton. Did you watch the first episode? Probably not.
Because I knew that there was probably going to be some things in it that I might want to watch someday, so I was like...
Well, that's why if you click on the description, there is a list of shows with a spoiler warning on it. If I go into spoilers, because not all of them have spoilers, some of them do. But check it out sometime. I don't know. I want someone to watch it. Okay. Damn, that's a lot of time.
The guilt trip.
I'm thinking of changing Slate Side's name soon, by the way. Because it's becoming, and I don't say, I might come off as I'm saying this passive aggressively. I really don't mean to, but it sounds like that. It really is apparent to me that no one's helping me with this channel. It's my channel. Slate Side was made because it was going to be me and my friends making short films, and I'm not saying that'll never happen, but I'm saying I've been the voice of every single video on that channel. Except for one 40-second thing that Tariq did.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. I'm thinking, I don't know what to change it to is the thing. I was thinking maybe change it to Mackle Reviews, but I don't...
You want to keep using Mackle as a brand name?
I think the reason I like using Mackle as a brand name just because it does actually help my shit pop up when you type in my name. Bemis never did that, and I also don't like using my real name anymore.
Yeah.
Just because
Mackle's kind of like a quirky meme kind of name too, Yeah. It's I
don't know if I want to bring that to another channel outside of Mackle Shit Ackle, but I already have the show called Mackle's TV Dinners, so I don't know. And then the me and you videos are called Mackle and Zatch, so maybe I should just call it fucking Mackle Reviews.
True. Speaking of YouTube, by the way, I do have a show note that's kind of a continuation, which I believe is in the last episode we talked about this, the comments section controversy.
I want to hear what you have to say, and like I don't even want to really go into my thing, but I'd actually do kind of an updated opinion on the whole thing.
So this morning, not that this is the main topic, this still relates to YouTube, but like this morning was a new episode it was like the second episode for the brand new season of Power Rangers, and they post clips on YouTube on their official YouTube channel, and what I noticed is that their comment sections are disabled. I'm like, I wonder why they're doing that. So I go over to their community tab, and I see, stuff that they posted about the episode, and then there's a comment section. There's people saying, hey, what's up with why you disabled the comments, and there's a few people that pointed out it's YouTube doing this. I even have a comment right here. I took a picture of. Let me read it here.
Is it from the channel?
It's one of the viewers who commented on one of the posts on the community tab. To anyone asking about comments, YouTube are shutting down comments on all channels they find to have minors featured in videos as part of a safeguarding procedure. I'll get to that, by the way. Being a kids show, there are going to be a fair amount of child actors in clips, and thus it's natural YouTube would shut the comment section down. Yeah, it's a pretty bad way to handle the situation, but I doubt the channel's at fault for closing the comments. So YouTube disabled the comments for it being a kids show. And this guy also pointed out that there might be child actors in these clips. As someone who watches the show, the youngest actor on the show is 18 years old. That's a bit weird, huh? And it's a kid's show. Why would you do that, YouTube? That actually makes no sense. Who are you protecting here?
Yeah,
it's a very robotic system. No one's really checking on this.
Yeah, I agree that it doesn't really make any sense. My only updated opinion on it is I kind of finally realized why they were doing it. And it's because, like I said a little bit about this last episode, but I openly said I don't know a lot about it. There's just a lot of people on YouTube now who are just openly pedophiles.
Yeah.
And they're trying to stop that, and they're trying to bring a lot of that down. And I think that's actually, I'm not saying that they're handling it right, but that's a good cause. It's not
it is.
I thought it was people could go onto a channel and say something offensive. You could just post a bunch of swear words, and that could get their channel terminated, or their comments disabled, I should say, or even a strike on their channel. But I do think that what the actual purpose for it is at least they're not doing it for what I consider to be a stupid reason. I just think the way they're handling it is bad.
With YouTube fashion, there's always those glitches in there, and now I'm hoping to see certain clips, not overall comments about a playlist of clips to people talk about the episode itself, but I want to see the comment section from a single clip from a new episode, which they're changing things up this time around with Power Rangers, and this is an interesting time for the community, and I want to see people's reactions and what they think of this part of the episode. Now I have to go all the way to the community tab, which not a lot of people know about, by the way. And it's a kid's show, so of course kids are watching, and of course kids will go on YouTube to find these clips and now see the comment sections disabled, and they want to know too, but they don't know about the community tab, and that's just great. It's this whole community is just silenced right now on YouTube, and that's a real damn shame. Because they're improving now with the show, and that's great, and I want to see people's reactions. Thanks, YouTube.
Sorry, I keep coughing. Yeah, like I said, I appreciate them trying to crack down on something like that, but at the same time, I don't think that's really going to stop anything. Those people are still going to be on your website. And it's not fair to a lot of people who use it, and they are, in many cases, attacking channels that don't even have any children on it.
Why do you find it? Don't you find it odd that it's not even stuff that says the word child in there or pictures of them in the thumbnails? It's literally a kids show that they recognize, and they just track them down. And that's weird to me. I'm curious about if there are other channels like that have kids shows, like the official Yo Gabba Gabba YouTube channel, and their comment sections are disabled now. I even checked before we started recording, their comment sections are still disabled, and it apparently wasn't even just today. This was the last couple of videos from 5 days ago up to now on the Power Rangers official YouTube channel are disabled, all the comment sections.
It's
I hope they're
It's
contacting YouTube about it, but
right. Yeah. It's not a great time for YouTube right now, but I haven't really liked I haven't really liked the website in a long time. I've liked the people still. That's what I've always said. I like people on YouTube. I think that the people who again, I for once I actually feel like they're doing it for they're doing something stupid for a good reason, but but like they've done so much shit over the years that I just cannot stand by. So really, I don't know. Whatever happens with them. If they really do make the website unusable for people, I do think all that's going to do is finally find a way for the website to be replaced. I know a lot of people say that's super unrealistic, but I mean, if they, people are getting more and more upset every single year. If they eventually make something that just doesn't have any benefits for the people using it, people will eventually have to leave it.
Well, in my opinion,
I just think it's going to take a lot.
In my opinion, that woman who's in charge of YouTube right now needs to be replaced with someone competent and knows what's best for the platform, and replace a lot of the team that's behind it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has to be a complete reconstruction. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but like another part, I feel like hopefully just people were smart with like some of the YouTubers who are being screwed over. Not even by this whole comment section thing, but just with channels randomly being terminated. Hopefully they were smart, saved some money. Me and Cody more so than me, I was like a little nicer about it. Used to say that, if you work on YouTube, you do not have a stable job. Because something like this can happen where you're completely screwed over. And I mentioned Mumkey a bunch of times, but there are other people who had their channels terminated. He's even had them on his
got
talk
another
show.
channel. I think I've had them recommended to me a few times.
He
really
does
weird
have
name
channel. It's All Hail Chancellor Susan, and Susan's the name of the CEO of YouTube. The incompetent one. So yeah, my changing. I mean, do you have anything else you want to say about YouTube, or I feel like we're kind of like dragging it?
Just that I hear you out on like good reasons and all that, but like at the same time, if there's like some weird videos out there, if that's the main issue, I forget, but like people making videos about this stuff, like a comment section having a discussion about this and reporting this dude without having their conversation silences. I'd rather see the discussion and people calling this guy out right on the video. Like
they're taking a lot of those channels down, apparently. Like, I heard a lot of people saying, oh, YouTube's not doing anything about the channels, and I see so many people argue saying, actually, they're taking hundreds of those channels down a day. So it does sound like that's a very good thing they're doing. I think they're trying to do too much at once. Like, maybe start with just taking those channels down, and then kind of look into the comment section thing. Because obviously there's a flaw in that plan, but I don't know. Maybe this is only a temporary thing too. Maybe they're just trying to be extra
careful. I hope it doesn't get really bad in like
now.
anything. Like for example, if 8-Bit does a Joker video, hey, Joker's related to Batman. Batman's like a kid kind of product, right? And then his video comment sections get disabled too, and like anything comic book kid related, it's just silenced. That'd be terrible.
Batman's only sometimes marketed towards.
Well, you know what I mean, like originally stuff.
I feel like most of the Batman stuff, except for like maybe the
look, it's not what we know. It's about what these 50-year-olds who are in tight suits and work in the offices know. They don't know much.
and plus, I was about to say, I am also saying, like, I think really Nolan's films are the only ones that I don't think were aimed towards children. I think a lot of older people enjoy Batman, but I think like the animated series, the Lego Batman, and all that, like that stuff's aimed at both older people, but also children. So yeah, you're right. Plus, he shows the animated Joker in his show. So, so yeah, I recently did a derailed podcast episode with a guy named Matt Presents, who's the other person we mentioned in the episode we had Tim on for. Tim is going to be. I'm going to edit that episode right after I get the Oscar video out. Then 2 weeks from yesterday, I'm going to have Tim on for a derailed episode. And I'm kind of going on a guest binge right now. I wanted to know if you'd like to be the third one.
Sure.
I have on there.
What
and after that, I'm going to see
are
if
you
I
still
can get
doing
TikTok.
topic episodes or just like?
Yeah, they are topics, but like the whole point, like again, with it being derailed podcast, we like just constantly get off topic. I fully embrace the idea of being reminded of something else and move into that topic when we record that show. Like I had Matt on, and the main topic was So Bad It's Good Movies, because he has a channel where he's basically dedicated to just finding these really obscure films, and he does reviews on them, and they're like very bad movies, but most of them are like bad in a really funny way.
Mm.
And it's like he really doesn't. I think the most mainstream things that he has gone after on that show, we talked about it, is he did an episode on the Twilight films, and he did an episode on Cool Cat. And then almost every other thing he's gone over on his show is some shit I've never heard of before. I thought it was a really good episode I did with him. I think from now on, and I feel like with Tim it was a little different because you were in the call with me, and I had talked with Tim over messages, so it was like it felt less awkward to me because that was the first time I was in the call with Tim. But not only were you there with me and I wasn't alone, but also I've been talking to Tim in messages. With Matt, I thought it was a very good episode, but there were several really awkward moments, not because of him, because of me, where I said something that I start taking it back because I'm not sure if that's something I should talk about with him, or because I don't really know him that well. You know, we've responded to each other's tweets, but me inviting him to be on Derailed was the first message I've sent him before. And then we're on the call for like 5 minutes before we start recording. And I do actually think it was a really good episode, and I think Matt was great, and I'm really looking forward to releasing it. But there's just points where I would freeze up briefly, just because this is not a person that I'm really familiar talking with, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it felt there was like something awkward about it for me.
Yeah.
I've
gone that way too with like doing Metal Mouth with the Elijah one and George, and you know, because like those guys I at those times, or if ever really, I think like never one-on-one talk to them in a voice call before, and now I'm expected to like be with them on a podcast for an hour. And with both of those episodes too, we were in a call for hours after that, just talking as well, just getting to know each other and seeing what each other's into. And
you know, I wouldn't say that Matt was awkward at all is the thing. I think it was like 100% me. Like I'm probably gonna cut this part out of the episode, but there's a point like where we're talking about the show, an old religious show called VeggieTales, because he made several references to it in his videos in the past. And I grew up on that show, and he is literally the only other person on YouTube I've ever heard reference that show. So I had to make that one of the ending topics. And then at one point I asked him, like, were you religious growing up? Like, were there any other religious shows you watched? And then I said, and then I stopped myself. I was like, you don't have to answer that if you don't want to. Because I felt like I probably shouldn't ask him if he's religious or not. This is the first time I'm talking to him.
I mean, how did he take it? How did he respond?
I think he just took it fine, and he didn't answer whether he was religious or not, but talked about some more of the shows he watched. And I felt really awkward after. And the other issue we had, and I feel bad about this, but we had some minor connection issues. So there were several times where he would cut out, and I thought I took it as he stopped talking, so I would start talking. And I mean, he even acknowledged at the end of the episode we were talking over each other a lot, and he wasn't complaining about it. He was being very polite. Like I said, it was a very good episode. I don't think there was any silent pauses or anything. And he was like, yeah, I actually think we were talking over each other a good bit. And I think I did that to him a lot more than he did it to me, per se. And I really do think it was mainly because of connection, but I do talk over people. I'm fully aware I do it, and I hate the fact that I do it. It's a habit. Because I'm sure it's super fucking annoying. I get annoyed when people talk over me. But I do absolutely do it. I'll try. I try to be conscious of it, but sometimes when I'm not thinking about it,
when you're on a roll and you really want to get it out there before you forget,
yeah. I just don't think other people I did it a lot in the Oscars recording, and I do apologize for that. I don't mean it. I try to be super self-aware about it so I can improve. I kind of look like a piece of shit, by the way. I didn't shower today.
Just fix it.
I got up. I got up at 4 a.m. because I fell asleep pretty early last night, not long after doing the recording with Matt. I woke up, got my computer edited for hours upon hours, and then I think for the last 3 hours, I watched Good Will Hunting this morning after I
was that the movie I recommended to you?
Yeah, that was the one you recommended. So I did watch it very recently. When did you watch your short films?
When was it? I think I watched them Thursday, the day before we were originally supposed to record this episode.
Yeah, I didn't have time, and I was thinking to myself, like, I remember, like, that day, I was like, okay, I think I'm getting out of my last class early because it was a test day. And I'm like, okay, so I'll take test, go home, and watch the movie right before we do the show. And then I was thinking to myself, well, what if I'm wrong and the class he makes us stay after the test for a lecture or something? Because not all professors let this class out after a test is taken. Or what if the test is at the end of the class? Or, like, I do get out early, but then there's traffic on the way home. Just all these things, and I was thinking I probably should not tell him last second that I'm canceling. So I just decided, hey, can we either do it... I told you, can we either just... You give me 2 movies for the next one, or we do it Saturday, and you said Saturday.
I usually watch whatever you recommend to me either the day before or on the day, just so then it's fresh on my mind.
I do that sometimes. I do sometimes, like, if I feel like it kind of left my mind, I'll go through and, like, skim through it and watch some of the crucial scenes again.
Because I remember there being episodes where you recommended stuff to me and I would watch them, like, or something like the day or two after we talked about it, and then we record the episode like a week or two after, and I'm like, oh man, I watched that forever ago, refresh my memory, let's talk about it. Like, I just forget.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at remembering the stuff I watch, but I do sometimes have to go back and play clips again. We'll get to the movie discussion in just a second. Did you have another show note?
Yes, I did. Hopefully you can contribute as much as you can to this. I saw Captain Marvel yesterday on opening day. I'd like to talk about it. No spoiler free, of course, but yeah.
Yeah. I hear everyone saying it's mediocre. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much been it. A lot of people are saying it's, like, not horrible, but some people are going as far as to call it below average. I gotta say, I did finally hear Brie Larson's comments.
Oh,
that
finally!
Got everyone in uproar. I did by seeing a video that was unrelated. Someone just
all the comments are as much as you could, like the Twinkle Before Time, Twinkle of Time, whatever the hell that movie was. That discussion there was.
The Wrinkle in Time comment is the one I heard, and I just gotta say, Brie Larson. I'm afraid that I had like 7 white men release reviews today on YouTube, and I looked at all 7 of them, and all of them gave it mediocre reviews. And now I'm going to have an 8th white man do it.
You know what I was thinking? The whole time during this whole thing, I was thinking, man, Brie Larson is probably going to cost this movie a lot of money. I mean, it's an MCU movie, still going to make a lot. But man, did she cost it a lot, I'm sure. A lot of people are even saying, go watch Alita Battle Warrior and not Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
that's a big thing that people are saying now. It's getting traction.
It's Robert Rodriguez. He's great.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie yet, but I hear it's great.
I want to see it with Pinsack. It seems like a go see with a friend movie. I don't know. So, just overall, by the way, Captain Marvel, as someone who's seen it, I'd say it's not great, but it's not terrible either. It's very okay, but it's not the greatest thing ever. So let me try to think of a non-spoiler free review. Just I guess little tidbits. You can spoil it to me if you want. If you're talking about not wanting to spoil it to whoever's listening, I understand that. But
it's the first week of when it's coming out.
I don't see all the superhero movies that come out, and when people say, when even the Marvel fans are saying, yeah, it was okay, I really don't want to see it. Like Black Panther, I hesitated for a bit, but the Marvel fans fucking loved Black Panther. And then I saw it, and I did enjoy it.
You know what's
but with Captain Marvel, people are saying it's okay, and I'm just like, do I want to really see it? Like, even the biggest Marvel fanboys are saying it's okay. I won't.
Okay, what?
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
sorry.
Go ahead, please.
I am sorry. I was just gonna say, obviously, I won't say the movie is good or bad until I actually see it. I may never see it.
I mean, it's not a big waste of time. It's like some people online are making it out to be. I mean, if that's their perspective, I respect their opinion. As someone who was on the side of everyone else against the movie, I can understand your frustration. But I've seen the movie. I can now have a good solid opinion there. Like, listen, the movie, it's slow in the beginning. It's slow in a lot of parts. It's kind of all over the place. There's the lead actress is not believable in her role at all. I heard one reviewer say that she's a bit subtle with her performance. Sure, if you want to believe that, that's fine. I feel like she's trying to be subtle, and you can tell. There was this whole thing. There's this thing about her character that's like, you know, she was brought up by these people called the Kree, and so she doesn't have her emotion. She can't control her emotions well. That's the synopsis before I saw the movie, and then when the movie starts playing, and like there's this one scene near the beginning where Jude Law's character is saying like you show emotions too much, you have to restrain them. Like, okay, I can see that they're telling her to do all these things, but her character in the movie is showing emotion, so you would think that her character would be showing emotions more than Brie Larson's trying to. I don't know. It's weird.
Are you saying that like the character is supposed to be showing emotions, but Brie Larson isn't really showing emotions?
There's this whole argument when people are saying in the trailers and all that, like she's not showing any emotion. Then there's people trying to go against that argument with, hey, what the character's about that? You know, she was brought up this way. She was told not to use her emotions. Yet in the beginning of the movie, she's showing that the character has been known recently to exhibit her emotions and not really care what other people have to say. So Brie Larson, deal with that what you will.
Does she hold back though?
She shows emotion. I mean, she does show emotions every now and then. But it's like a bit. I don't know. She's like very serious and stern at times, and then she could just be snarky at other times.
Well,
I don't know.
This is just a speculation, but that does sound like accurate to me. Then she's someone that was told she has to not show emotions, and she only does sometimes as a result.
Maybe like as her performance being unbelievable. Or not, you know what I mean? Yeah, not unbelievable in that way. But my mind's like going everywhere right now. I apologize. Again, like I said, this movie isn't perfect, but it isn't terrible either. Like there are times in this film where you're going, "Oh my god, that's awesome!" There's this one scene when she's like finally unleashing all this power, like near the end of the movie, and she's starting to fight all these dudes. Like it's a big moment for her character. Cool. At the same time, like in retrospective, like her characters, they made her very overpowered. Like it looks like she's stronger than Thor and Hulk combined. Like there's these alien torpedoes flying at her in space, and she's like going like this, and they just go through her and they explode, and she's like woo. And it's just
is that accurate to the comic book character?
I don't care what it's accurate of. It's just for the MCU, for the movies, you should kind of debuff them a bit, don't you think? It made the action very underwhelming a bit because she's so overpowered. She could shoot fire lasers out of her fists. Nothing could hurt her. She's indestructible. She's all this, and it's just.
I don't have a big problem with that. As long as like maybe Endgame, they do kind of show her weaknesses, and they like a lot of people are saying Endgame's gonna end with Captain Marvel being the main person that stops Thanos. And to me, that would be bad writing just because she had one movie before Endgame while all these characters have been in it
built up for nothing, pretty much.
Yeah. So they got to be very fucking careful with that, I think. But if you end it with the original Avengers being the one who kind of stops it, but it's kind of like passing the torch to Captain Marvel, and then she's kind of going to be the leader of things when they're gone, I'd be okay with that. And then like you can... That
would be okay if Brie Larson's mouth didn't stay wide open this whole time. Like now everyone's getting a bad taste in their mouth. And even though, hey, her name is Captain Marvel, it's from Marvel Studios, that's epic. However, behind the scenes wise, it's putting a lot of bad taste in everyone's mouth with Brie Larson talking all this stuff.
What is it aside from that one clip? Because I agree in that one clip she sounds really stupid.
Well, there was one thing she said, like she didn't want white... interviewers on her press tour. She wanted more diversity there. Which, okay, there's people qualified for the job, but you don't want them to do their job. Okay.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other stuff. I mean, just look it up. Yeah. Let me think.
She and Quentin reviews have a lot in common.
There's this one actor. Who did a phenomenal...
You think she'll message?
What?
You think she'll DM Mumkey Jones?
I don't know. There's this one actor who plays one of the villains in the movie who's a Skrull, one of the shapeshifter villains. You'll see him throughout the film. You recognize this actor? He was in the trailers too.
He looks familiar.
He's Ben Mendelsohn. The dude is in disguise as one of Nick Fury's bosses and turns out to be a Skrull. And even when he's in the Skrull makeup, it's actually the actor. And he's like the leader of this Skrull group in this movie. He is, whenever he's on screen, especially in the Skrull makeup, like I feel like you can't take your eyes off of him. His performance is so real. Like, I'm not going to spoil anything about his character, but like, it's a great character. I feel like it's really good. And then Samuel L. Jackson again, like he's also a great part of the movie, which is ironic. A movie about females and all that. The males are better to watch, more fun to watch. Like literally, there's like the best friend of Captain Marvel in the movie, like this old Air Force pilot, and the actress herself, again, not a great actress. Like all the females in this movie, not all, but most of the main ones seem to be very average actors. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. The only thing I will say is, I don't plan on watching any of the DC movies. But if you're gonna talk about if you're gonna try to say that this is just a bunch of sexist people saying this, I don't recall there being this much backlash when Wonder Woman came out. In fact, I remember everyone saying Wonder Woman first good DC movie. Mm. So
I'd say Gal Gadot had a bit more of a likable personality than Brie Larson.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I was like kind of thinking, I like, because I'm not gonna, despite her comments, I'm not gonna say I don't like Brie Larson's performances in the past. I think that she's good in Scott Pilgrim. Yeah, she's good in Free Fire. About as good as everyone else in Kong Skull Island. But I've liked her.
And this movie, by the way, does have some mentions of men overpowering females in this movie, which is a bit unnecessary because it's like one of, not her main, but one of her motivations, and it's a bit weird. There's this one thing of like she keeps getting back up because she's human, and they didn't put it in the line because she's a girl or anything, which is good, but there are some lines from some male characters that are very like what men would ever talk like this. I don't know like what it is. Like there's some in the 90s if it was this bad, but I doubt it. I even asked my mom like afterwards, like I remember even asking her like on the way back to the car. I was like, as a woman, what do you think of all this stuff going on? And even she said, it's clear that this is all just a trend that Hollywood's doing recently with all the female empowerment stuff, and it doesn't really work for the movie.
Yeah.
And as for my mom, she was old enough to be in the 90s and understand things. And was there stuff going on in the 90s with men treating women like this? And she's like, I don't think so. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I mean, in the army, maybe, I don't know. Like stuff about like women can't be in the Air Force, something like that was in this movie.
Well,
and men were like,
look, there's definitely been.
I know there hasn't been at all,
but with movies, especially with like representation, in the 90s it wasn't as bad as when they were doing fucking blackface back then, of course. But I do think representation's important. I do. I think it's good to have it in movies. I think it's. I think. Do you think it's appropriate to do this topic in a superhero movie? I think that you should focus more on making a likable character than the politics of it, because I feel like the politics of it, you can talk to them, but I think you should save that for interviews and keep it out of the movie. I think that's why a lot of people are saying Alita is going to be a way better role model for young girls watching the movie than Captain Marvel is, because I don't even know if the politics are in Captain Marvel, so I guess a better example would be something like the female Ghostbusters reboot. Mm-hmm. Because that one did have politics in it. That one did reference people online. That one did reference the people who were upset on that they were treating Ghostbusters like crap. It's
I hate that we have to even talk about politics when we just want to talk about a fun superhero movie or a mediocre superhero movie.
I agree. I just try. I will join in the conversation if I'm brought into it, but I normally just try to avoid it. Honestly, it's not something I like. I don't know. Like maybe there's been times in the past where I've brought it up, but very much recently, I've been just like, okay, like I'll watch Captain Marvel, and if I watch it and talk about it, I'll do it without talking about any of the behind the scenes stuff. I don't blame the writers, the directors, the other people who worked on the movie for what Brie Larson said. I can completely disconnect what she said from the character
and I tried my best when watching this film to even disconnect that as well. I don't really think there was a time in the movie where I had a bad taste in my mouth because I'm like, oh, Brie Larson, that one. I saw the character, I saw the writing, I judged it how it was. That's just how I saw it. And also, by the way, like the character Captain Marvel, her origin story is not the most interesting. I'll say that. Like, it feels like a very Phase 1 kind of movie. But like all the other characters, even Thor's movie, not a fantastic film or anything, but like his origin story was more fun than Captain Marvel. I feel like, I don't know. Also, a side note, CGI in this film is like at times pretty weird. Like there's this one time she's falling through the sky from space, and it's like fixated on her face, and like for a long period of time, and you could tell it's not really Brie Larson, but it's clearly CGI, and I don't know. It was weird. They're saving it for Endgame, I'm sure.
Sometimes the CGI Marvel films just looks bad.
Oh, by the way, I'll give this movie one thing. I don't know if they changed up some camera lenses or something, but like there was some scenes like looked pretty good compared to like some of the recent movies we've had, which looks very too colorful and too cartoony a bit. If you know what I'm even talking about, so, like some scenes in this film looked pretty good.
Colorful Marvel is my favorite Marvel. I'll say that. I do not like Phase 2.
Also, I just remember too, a lot of times during this movie, until a certain point, it seemed like they were cutting down the humor. Like they had humor, but it fit like the characters that were saying it or whatnot. Like it wasn't like stupid stuff like in Infinity War.
Like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Like Infinity War when Drax is like watching Star-Lord and whoever and Gamora talk, and he's eating the chips and trying to stand still, like completely halting the pace of the movie there.
Dude, I like the first Guardians movie.
For a while in Captain Marvel, it wasn't like that. There was this one point where one of the Skrulls sees the cat that you've seen in the marketing, maybe, and he gets scared and it's like, whoa, and it kind of cuts off the serious pace. And from there, you can kind of notice more and more humor gets put in there. Like there's this one talk of like them asking, hey, if you could change it to a human, can you change it to a filing cabinet, and to this, and to that, and stupid stuff. That's like halts the pace. But for the most part, it was more serious, and I like that.
When it comes to humor, I really feel like Avengers was the funniest one I've seen. Like just the interactions when they first meet up, I thought were hilarious. Like, and they just can't get along with each other. Comedy in the first Avengers movie is actually really good. I think in the second one, it's pretty good too. In Age of Ultron, it's one of the only things I like is like I hated Age of Ultron, but I liked the scene where they're all trying to lift Thor's hammer. Like that was really funny to me. And then in Infinity War, I mean, I liked Infinity War a lot, but I think a lot of the humor is bad. When it comes to the Guardians of the Galaxy characters, keep in mind I liked the first two movies. I thought Rocket and Gamora were the only two like slightly tolerable characters from the Guardians. I thought Peter, Drax,
Mantis,
whatever the girl with the
Mantis.
The one. Which one is it?
Mantis.
Mantis, yeah. I thought they were all super irritating. Groot, you can't really. He's not good or bad, you know. Yeah. He's just a tree who
He's
says
just
I'm
a tree. Wow, how do you think he feels? Jesus.
How do you think? Guess I'm racist against trees. Yeah. I am a plantist. We're definitely going a little over time for this episode because I have one more topic before we go into the movies.
Overall, I'll give this movie a 5 out of 10. I was thinking about 6 out of 10, but probably 5 out of 10. It's very.
Yeah, I mean that's average. That's average.
It's average.
Yeah. Though sometimes that's like the worst score you can get because sometimes like
let's not get into this discussion. 5 is bad. That means 1 through 4 must be really, really bad. It's like
no, that's not where I was
going to go.
It's
that's what it is.
A 1 out of 10 sometimes means it's really funny. Like that means like Birdemic or Cool Cat.
You wouldn't give a movie if you found it like slightly entertaining a 1. You'd give that more than a 1.
I would give like a so bad it's good movie a 1.
No.
But that's like the equivalence of it. Sometimes I'm inconsistent. Sometimes I give them like 10 out of 10s. I gave Birdemic a 1 out of 10, but I gave Flash Gordon a 10 out of 10 on my IMDb. Anyways, I wanted to talk about a dream I had.
Not the movie discussion.
Because
there are like 6 or 7 things in that playlist as well as the one movie.
Yeah. You can't going just a little over time, just a little over time. It'll be just like record one of the commentaries, just delete all the raw footage.
Oh yeah.
So this will just be a slightly longer episode. We won't. I won't go on this long. I just thought this was really funny, and I want to talk about it before it's like way too old of a story. So I had a dream. It's another dream story. I think I told the one earlier this season about Pinsack coming into my house and yelling at me. This was another me and Pinsack story where I don't even remember like what our like current life status was, but we were just out and we wanted to have a good night. So we found a bunch of people to hang out with and we started drinking and they started having us go through a bunch of challenges. Like I said, okay, we're gonna play some games, like we're gonna do some things, and it gets like more and more complex as you go through, and they give us a warning saying, "Are you two actually down for this shit? Because it gets pretty hardcore." And then me and Nick are like, "Yeah, we're down for it." And the first challenge is to climb a rope. And in this dream, you know,
you were in a bar in this dream, right?
What?
You were in a bar in this dream, right?
No, we were just out on the streets drinking. Honestly, it didn't make it. This dream doesn't make any fucking sense.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this is also an important thing to mention. You know, fucking Stamper from Sleepy Cast. You don't know who that is? Really?
Nah.
You ever see the potato salad skit?
No.
No. Well, he's just someone who was on. You know what Sleepy Cabin is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of the people who used to be on that. Okay. No idea why, but he was in the fucking that guy's stuff too much.
He was in the what?
He was in Sleepy Cast, the podcast they did on Sleepy Cabin.
I heard he was in the fucking, and then it cut out.
Oh, he was on Sleepy Cabin. He was in a few skits they did. He did like he was on the Sleepy Cast they did. You know, you probably heard him before. Chances are, but he was a member of this group for some reason. No idea why. Like, I really don't get it because I listened to him on the show a couple of times. But yeah, he was there, and the only way I know him is from that show and following him on Twitter. And I climbed. The first one was to climb a fucking rope, and for some reason in the stream I'm just super fucking good at climbing ropes. I think in real life I would probably fail to do this task. And then the second challenge they give us is to shove. It goes dark immediately. Is to shove shit up our ass. And it just gets really dark, and we're like, I don't want to fucking do this. But like, it's too late. We're in now. And when me and Pinsec realized we joined a fucking cult.
Shoving.
And then I'm trying desperately to get out of it. And they start threatening to fucking kill me and Pinsec.
You're in some real deep
And then I wake up.
Literally.
I'm all good. And then 2 days later, Stamper, I commented on something he posted on Twitter, because like I said, I follow him on Twitter. 2 days later, Stamper follows me on Twitter.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Oh, wait, IRL, you mean?
Yeah, no, really.
Oh, wait, what?
I don't know, I just left a comment on something he posted, and then he followed me after, and I was like, oh, that's nice of him. And I'm just thinking, the dream's gonna come true.
It's getting closer and closer now.
He's gonna recruit me and Pinsack into a cult. I thought you would like that story more, my bad. I just thought it was a weird dream, and I thought it was like just a good ending. Because I was followed by one of the fucking people in the dream at the end of it, just 2 days later. Fucking weird shit.
I think the only time that a dream has come true the day right after is I dreamed about Mario Kart Wii when that game was first coming out. Then I went to the mall with my family and the game was there and was like, hey, you want to get this game? I'm like, oh, cool.
I have very weird fucked up dreams. Like they get, like the cult, that was not nearly as dark as it goes. But there's no time to talk about that. Let's talk about some movies. I hope that dream was interesting to someone. Anyway, so I had this. So which one do you want to go first? Should we go through the shorts first and then end on a simple
I feel like the playlist is odd enough to end on, you know?
Okay.
I mean?
So we'll talk about Good Will Hunting first. So I watched it just this morning, and go for my thoughts real quickly. I liked it, but there was a lot of stuff in there I could have gone with. I think mainly the professor that bails him out of prison. I think he is the worst character in the movie, and I was super uninterested every time he was on screen. I thought he was super generic. He was occasionally an asshole. I don't think they bring his story to a proper conclusion, and I just don't think anything about it is that interesting. I don't think the actor was that good. Did not care for him, and he takes up a lot of the movie. I thought the stuff with Matt Damon and his girlfriend in the movie was probably the second least interesting thing for me, but there's a couple good scenes with them. She herself was a very good actress. Mm-hmm. And I think she contributed a fair amount to the scenes. Like, there was a charm to her character, but just like I understand why it happens. They have a very good reason for why they're falling out and outburst happens. But to me, that is just such a cliche in film, like where he just starts getting really worked up super easily, and he has the big outburst on her, and he is trying to keep like basic information from her that she could easily learn as a lie. And again, like, I think this movie does better than other films that do this, just because they really do fucking give a reason with how fucked up his childhood is and how like little of a shit he cares about anything. So I can't say it doesn't make any sense like it doesn't in a lot of movies, but I still don't really care for that trope of just like telling an obvious lie and expecting no consequences, and just having an outburst for like that comes out of nowhere. I do think it makes sense with the character, but it's still not entertaining to me, because it just kind of feels like it comes out of nowhere, you know. But I thought Matt Damon was great. Ben Affleck and like all of the friends, like just his three friends over him, all those scenes, I was actually laughing like out loud during those. Like, I thought those were really funny. And then Robin Williams, I think he won Best Supporting Actor for this movie at the Oscars a few years back. It also won Best Screenplay, which was written by Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, funny enough. And I thought that Robin Williams was actually really fucking fantastic in this. Yeah. I completely understand why I got it. I've always liked Robin Williams, you know, like I was sad when I heard that he died, you know, when I think he committed suicide, if I'm remembering it correctly. And I remember hearing the news, and I remember being really sad about it. But really, I think what I knew him best for was Jumanji and Aladdin. And I don't, like, really both of those are very silly movies. They're good. I think they're good movies. I think they hold up. But
have you ever seen
I've seen Flubber, yes. I didn't Classic. Like Flubber as a child.
I had that movie on VHS.
Did you? I have it on VHS still.
I saw it quite a many times as a child.
Did you like Flubber?
I don't remember if I did. I mean, I watched it enough times, so I think I did. I don't know. I think as an adult, or maybe sometime during middle school or high school when I watched it again, I was like, "This is terrible," but you know. Wasn't there like a flubber thing that went in the bad guy's body and then it came out of his ass at one point near the end of the movie?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure he like farts it right out.
I remember Flubber isn't in much of the movie.
Yeah, I think it did kill him at the end of the movie. He farted the flubber out and it killed him.
It almost feels like a Kangaroo Jack scenario where they filmed a movie.
Yeah.
And then realized this doesn't really appeal to anyone. Let's add it. Let's just throw in a cute little animated character. Obviously, that isn't true because Flubber is a focus throughout much of the movie. He's just not shown as much as he's mentioned. But that's going off memory, by the way. You know the story behind Kangaroo Jack?
No.
Well, he's barely in the movie, Kangaroo Jack himself. You know what Kangaroo Jack is, at least? You've heard of it? Mm-hmm. He's barely in the movie himself. But originally he was just supposed to be in one quick scene of this movie that was not targeted for kids, and it was going to be a scene where he was hallucinating. And like, I don't remember why, but they completely branded who the movie was going to be for. They remarketed it completely, and it was going to be a kids film now. And they made Kangaroo Jack like on the posters, and it was called Kangaroo Jack now. And they threw in like a couple of extra scenes. And they just made it look like it was this kid's movie, but like he's in the movie for 5 minutes.
I might have heard that before. I forget.
It is like one of the weirdest stories for like a kid's film. because it was not supposed to be for children. And if you watch the movie, it's pretty apparent that it wasn't made as a children's movie. It's really, I watched it as a kid and I just thought it was fucking boring. I wasn't even like interested in watching it because it wasn't like, you know, I didn't like the kangaroo Jack scenes either, you know. It wasn't like I want to see more of the kangaroo. It was just like, this fucking sucks.
So going back to Good Will Hunting.
Yeah. That's right. We were talking about Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about Robin
What do you
Williams.
think of some of the scenes? Well, from one that I really remember very well is the I think might have been the only one, I don't know, but like the scene when they're on the bench and it's like that one long shot. It's like one continuous shot. They're just doing their lines back and forth.
Is it It's Not Your Fault, or
no, the one when they're outside at the park sitting on the bench and Robin Williams and Matt Damon are just having that talk. The one scene that just went on and they just that was impressive, like how they remember all those lines. And
there's a shot where Robin Williams is on the bench and he's the only one talking though.
Okay.
I think I actually wrote my phone now. Let me
somewhere in the middle of the movie, I think.
Yeah, Robin Williams doesn't come in until like 30-40 minutes. Okay. Oh god, I'm in a group chat and there's been like 80 messages, now it's all popping up on my phone.
I also really like movies that like have like Boston accents, like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck just bouncing off each other. Their characters are so weird and odd, and they just embrace like the Boston feel, I feel like.
Morgan reminded me of Fred.
Morgan?
It was just like this picked on member of the group.
Oh, right, yeah. Ben Affleck's little brother IRL.
The park scene where he really rips into Matt Damon's character, I thought was really impressive. I mean, I really like that. Sadie, stop licking maneuver. She's like licking like little stains on our counter. Stop it, Sadie. That's gross. Don't be a trash hound. You have food. I'm looking at your bowl right now. You have food. Go eat your food, you little jerk. I love that park scene, actually. Yeah, it's a really good scene. I think really every time it was focusing on Matt Damon and Robin Williams' conversations, like during the therapy sessions, it was like great. Yeah. But and then like with the four friends, I enjoyed those too. But the stuff with the girlfriend and the stuff with the college professor was less good to me.
The girlfriend was more of this tool for Matt Damon's character to finally have an end for his character, like something to go to at the end. You know,
and that's the thing. She kind of
it was Robin Williams, like it was his character, like was the whole thing, like, you know, he had a wife that died and he really regrets not spending more time with her and stuff like that. The girlfriend was necessary, and they needed time to develop that relationship throughout the movie.
It feels a little formulaic, but the reason I don't hate it is because the person who played her was genuinely good, and the character I found to be likable. I like the scene when she's at the bar and she tells like a little joke to everyone.
Yeah, about the old people.
I like that scene, made me laugh, and she fit in well with those characters. Maybe they could have included more scenes of her hanging out with all of them. You know, as a group.
I would have loved that.
Really, that professor though, like, I just didn't like him. I just did not like him. I don't feel like
maybe they did because it didn't have a villain and the movie needed a villain?
Maybe, but like the only redeeming thing about him is he gets, you know, Matt Damon out of prison. I'm sorry, I know I keep calling them by the actors' names, but I don't remember. I'm bad with names. I need to watch the movie more.
I don't really remember the beginning of the movie as much as the rest. You know, like I knew all that stuff happened, but the earliest thing I remember is him looking at this board and him doing the math on it.
I like those parts, actually.
Also, by the way, the whole thing about him being like this math prodigy was very overshadowed by everything else, in my opinion, in the movie. Like, it sent him to where he went to the whole plot of the movie, but it was very forgettable.
It wasn't like the point, though. The point was that he was an overachiever. Like, he had like he was holding himself back. Like, he's capable of doing these things. It doesn't have to be that. Because he's also, like, well-informed about history, about art. Like, he's just a genius. So it doesn't have to be math. That's just one of his many skills. So I don't think that was a big deal. I enjoyed it kind of just being an Act 1 thing. And then later on, he kind of shows, like, his other knowledge. My favorite scene in the movie is I've seen this scene referenced in so much shit before, but it's not your fault bit. Because I remember hearing that and other things. I'm like, okay, whatever this is referencing, it's got to be the most corniest fucking hell thing. because I was just like, this is stupid. Like,
He's actually very impactful in this very movie, though.
In the movie, it won me over completely.
Yeah.
I remember fucking Family Guy did it with Brian and his son.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. I've seen so many shows reference that, though. That one scene, that it's not, because it's a big iconic scene, but it works in this movie. I was just thinking, like, okay, this is like laughably bad. That's why people use it all the time. Yeah. But no, it was really impactful, and I really think, like, because I think that's so easy for something like that to come off as silly, with them like repeating the same line over and over and over again. But with these two characters sold it so well. Mm-hmm. I'm happy to say this is a movie where, you know, Matt Damon kind of redeems himself for me, because first I watched The Departed, where I thought he was fucking awesome, and then I watched The Informant, where, I mean, I didn't hate him, but I didn't think it was great.
I thought his performance was really good in that film. Like, he's one of the more redeeming qualities.
It's okay. I think he was okay.
It's just so odd, and I can't take his eyes off him in that one.
I guess maybe it might not have anything to do with his performance. It might have something to do with the character for me. He's very good at being sold on like this compulsive liar in that movie, but I guess I just liked this character more, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't know. I think I actually do remember saying good things about him in The Informant. Maybe I'm like remembering things wrong, but because I think when we talked about it, I said like he was one of the only decent things about it, now that I really think about it. So maybe it's just, it wasn't really his fault, it was the movie selection for him. Mm-hmm. But obviously, that's a newer movie selection for him in comparison. I think that, this is the oldest of the Matt Damon films we've covered so far. By the way, I don't even know what I'm giving you yet for tonight. I have three things in mind, but I'm going to ask you a question at the end to decide. But Good Will Hunting. I mean, I really liked it. I feel like I've said everything I need to say about it. Is there anything you want to say about it?
No, it's just a really good movie. I thought it was great. I've seen it a few times, and every time it's been a great watch. Except for, you know, the beginning is a bit slow, and once it gets to until you see Robin Williams and Matt Damon interact, it starts to get, you know, okay, we're in the real plot, and these characters interacting. It's very fun to watch, and every time that's happening, that's great. And I kind of do agree with the relationship, even though I didn't mind it. I see what you're getting at.
I mean, I didn't mind. Like I said, it was fine. It was just like, to me, that's when it started feeling formulaic to me. But again, I've seen movies where I actually think it's legitimately bad, and I think it's legitimately bad because because he's saying, I'm losing my train of thought, because it's done for no reason. In this movie, it felt like there was a reason. He had huge connection issues. And they gave a fucking good reason. They did it subtle, like in a subtle way too. They never show it. Mm-hmm. They just show pictures in one scene, and like, you know that Robin Williams' character and Matt Damon's character have been through shit. I think the ending's kind of corny, where he leaves the letter at his house, and then the guy goes to his house, and he's no longer there. Like, that was super cheesy, but maybe I think
it showed their bond, though. It's like,
yeah, it
felt like doing that before he left. Like, that's sweet.
It was I do like the scene where he says every day, "I hope you go there. I go to your house and hope that you're not there." Yeah. And the funny thing is, there's so many quotable lines from this movie, because that was in a Community episode. Where they just said that exact same thing, and like, because it's by the character Abed, who constantly references movies. That shit was a good scene. But I liked it. I think at the end of the day, I'd give it 7 out of 10.
Okay, I'd say the same.
Yeah. So let's talk about some short films.
Oh boy! So let me
first up, list. I'll look at the list too.
I forget.
I'm looking forward to one especially.
I don't know if we'll be able to say too much about all these, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so there's A Man in the Woods.
I thought, that one, it's very short. We obviously big discussion about, but I just think it's really, my only gripe with It's a Man in the Woods, and I think it's a big one, is that I think the voice actor does not match the character design at all. Yeah. He sounds like a younger person, and I expect an older man's voice. It seems like a kind
of channel that does these kind of videos, but just he cares more about storytelling, doesn't really care about, he knows his voice is what it is, but he doesn't try to make the characters match the voice. He's just like, okay, I have a cool idea for a character, cool story, let's try it out. I feel like that's what he does. I don't know about you if you're subscribed to him or not, maybe that's different, but...
No, I'm not subscribed. I just followed that, watched that one short. But I watched it a few years ago. I really like it. I think that it's kind of like almost relevant with some of the stuff we've talked about in the past of like outrage culture, like how it basically just ruins this man's life, and then he actually does the horrible thing he's being accused of at the end.
That kid should just die, right?
Well, I think he does.
Commit suicide, kid. All right.
I think that kid does probably die at the end of that short. What did you? So like I don't know, like did you
Sorry
enjoy
for the
it?
commit suicide joke, by the way. What?
Did you enjoy it?
It's a bit serious, but look, listen. Like when you even mentioned like these don't have that great of a happy of an ending. Like I knew this was probably not going to be for me. It's not my sort of tone, but you know,
I'll keep that in mind for the future.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad or anything. It's just not. I can see why people that are into this stuff would like it.
Yeah, I really like the. I just really love the end, and I just got chills hearing him like say "There's a man in the woods" line again, but this time with a completely different context. I like the style throughout the whole thing. I like watching this guy's life just be completely. I mean, this is fucked up me saying this, but just like how his life was ripped apart just because of this one fucking kid. How easy it was, and he just didn't. It's interesting. I think that's really interesting. I think you could make a feature length out of that little idea. I like the Ryman too. There's like one line in it that I remember that like is kind of weird, but I don't remember exactly what the wording is. It's like,
you know, it's the same thing with the Buster Scruggs first story. Like I realized like when I was watching this first video too, like the rhyming, I didn't like it. It's not my thing.
I just think that the voice sounded like someone who, at the most, just graduated from high school. Mm-hmm. It didn't sound like a child, but it did not match.
I mean, hey, if they just graduated from high school, they're pretty talented for their age. I mean, it was pretty good.
Oh, I think tone-wise, like he says everything correctly. It's just his voice doesn't match. Mm-hmm. I think if you would have changed the character model, it could have matched. But like the age of that character does not fit with the voice. That's my only gripe with it. I don't think that the voice actor even did a bad job. I think it works. I think listening to the audio alone, it works good. It's just that voice does not work with that character model. That character model should have a way older voice. But anyway, I give There's a Man in the Woods a 9 out of 10 because that's my only issue with it.
9 out of 10?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
I only have one problem with it, so why not?
Yeah. The Backwater Gospel.
Blackwater Gospel.
This one had the best animation.
Yeah. That was the main reason I recommended it. I think you're actually right. It is Backwater. Yeah.
This one was very bloody near the end of it. My God.
Well, it's not gonna be me. Love that.
A lot of the stuff was like really gory. Like even though they used black for the blood, like there was people like ripping the spines out from the mouth and like someone's head getting ripped. And like I was very uncomfortable.
They even switched to 2D animation for that stuff, but it's just so gruesome. It's just like showing like again. This one's just like. I guess I'll let you out right after this. I probably should let her outside. She probably needs to go potty. She's whining to me. Please don't ruin the end of this. No, I really like that one. Austin's actually already shared it with me a few years ago. Sadie, I swear to God. You want to be I'll hold you. You want to be a special guest again? Alright, go on. I'm sorry.
Away, human.
Keep talking. I'm gonna try to like.
Yeah, no, I just felt really uncomfortable, especially during that part. I was like, "Oh God, why?" Can't wait for the next video. Hope it's a bit happier than this one.
I think the next one is a bit happier, just because it has more.
I think the next one was the bank teller one, which I think was the one I laughed the most with.
We'll get to that in a minute.
We'll get to that, yeah.
Did you kind of at least understand what the purpose of Backwater Gospel is, though? It's just like
probably too deep for
everyone knows that someone in the town has to die because I think like what they call him is the overseer is there. And I might be wrong about that. Is it the overseer?
It's something having to do with like
it's something. They know he's there, so they know that someone has to die. And it didn't have to be everyone, but it is because they just Sadie, knock it off. Like, she runs away when I come towards her. She does what the fuck she wants.
Being a little shit.
I shouldn't have fucking done this down here, I guess. But yeah, I really liked that one. I don't know. I thought it was just based around the pure, just like how monstrous everyone can be when they're put in a situation where it's them or someone else.
It was very exaggerated, though. Very exaggerated environment, though.
Yeah. Oh, of course, but art's supposed to exaggerate things, and it's just showing none of that had to have happened. And I do think there are circumstances on Earth where things are a lot worse than they need to be because everyone handles it in the dumbest fucking way they possibly can because they have their own well-being in mind over others. And I give Backwater Gospel, we'll say I don't know. I don't know how to fucking
I don't know out of 10. A.
I don't know out of 10.
What the?
I should almost say 10 out of 10 because it's I don't really have any issues with it, but at the same time, I don't think it's as great as other shorts I've seen before. All right, let's move. The next one's called Something Terribly Offensive, which I fucking find
I
hilarious.
love the voice for this character. First of all, it's very, hey guys, I'm this guy. I'm gonna fucking stab you in the heart and
higher and higher as it starts off as a normal voice.
Yeah. You can't say that. That's not right.
You could hurt someone's feelings. And then I just love the music and perfect with what he's saying and how it gets more and more drastic. So I'll cut you. You don't think I'll fucking do it?
I love how there's the it's a very obvious very cheap humor. Saying the F-bomb or something, but the fact that he didn't do it as much in the beginning. He has this weird voice. You're okay, he's a bit odd. Now he's trying to threaten to kill him. Okay, but it's come on, buddy, I'll fucking cut your nuts off. It's whoa, okay. It's this whole other thing, and I don't know. It's the pacing was perfect that led up to that, and I don't know. It was perfect timing for it.
I love it. I love that video.
The build up was really good.
I like how he brings his boys in.
I popped him again. He doesn't really. Yeah, yes, he threatens with a knife, but his main thing is just headbutting someone. That's his main weapon. So
it's another one, kind of like with the first one, where it's just based on outrage culture, how he does they do kind of animate this guy in a way where he kind of seems like he said something pretty nasty, and he's a very ugly looking dude, very kind of nasty looking old person. But what this guy does to him is significantly worse and undeserving, and that happens to so many people nowadays. Where they make a joke and everyone wants to ruin their fucking life over it.
What'd you think of his posse?
I love them. Yeah, we made the boss happy.
Now, the real question is, was the posse real or a part of his imagination and no one was really there? He's just talking to
I don't know.
His imaginary friends.
What did you think about the ending? Because it's pretty funny about the whole thing. But the ending's kind of weird and dark.
What was the ending again?
He says, and I grab his head and I bop him one last time, and then he starts disappearing. He says, and then he's gone.
Yeah, he killed him. Yeah, I saw that coming.
I think that he killed him is a potential way to look at it, but there might be some other meaning behind that.
I think it's pretty obvious he killed him personally, but
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know though, because what if you only heard the sound and didn't see the animation? Because what that was originally just a sound file that someone created, and then the person animated over it. So what would you interpret that as if you just heard the audio and then he's gone? I think the death assumption isn't a bad one, because that's kind of quite literally what you're seeing. He fades away.
I think it's that simple, personally. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, I'm not against that. It just ends on such a creepy note that I think it kind of wants you to think about it a little bit. But maybe I'm just being pretentious. But I love that one. Is that your favorite one of them?
It might be. Definitely not the last one. God damn it.
What was the last one? The music video.
Was the last? Yeah, of course, the music video. Yeah, we'll get to that eventually.
Talk about that one too much. I just wanted you to see it.
All right, so Little Quentin.
Little Quentin is do you understand what Little Quentin's about? Do you know what the title's referring to?
No.
Basically, what the short's about. I think I should have given you some for this. it is Quentin Tarantino. Almost said Quentin reviews. It's Quentin Tarantino as a kid, how playing with toys was like for him. So you get a very Quentin Tarantino like movie, as if he's just playing with these toys. That's why one of the characters is Bunny. That's why there's that scene in the middle of it where it's like his little sister comes in and sees her, like, him completely destroying
her stuff. Do you hear that,
stuff.
by the way?
No.
My dad's like blazing the TV super loud in the living room.
I don't hear it.
Okay.
But I'm not wearing headphones.
Jesus.
So what did you think of this one? Maybe you would like it more if you watched it with the knowledge that it's Quentin Tarantino.
Sorry,
it's like Toy Story. It's like Toy Story if Andy was Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, it was just really weird. I don't know what to say.
I love it. I fucking love it. I think that's my favorite one of all of them, honestly. It might be Cream, but we'll get to Cream. I loved Little Quinn. Do you have anything to say about it? I mean, like, really. I feel like it's like the most well animated too of all of them. Like, it's just,
out of
like,
all
really,
of them?
Probably.
Not the second one?
Oh, Mike and Melissa. That's right.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no, the second one actually probably does have better animation. I think I prefer the art style of Little Quentin, but realistically, like,
I'm just saying in general, like, of course the second one is the best.
I think it has the most impressive animation. I think Little Quentin's more of, like, my style. I think Little Quentin is my favorite short of all of these. Like, I've seen it so many times, and I love it so much. But I think I would recommend, like, you know, like, rewatching it with the knowledge that it's like Quentin Tarantino playing as with toys, because you've seen Quentin Tarantino films. You know, I think you might enjoy it more. If that
I mean, I've seen Pulp Fiction, and that's it. I think.
The only reason I didn't... Oh, really?
I think
you never saw Reservoir Dogs or Kill Bill?
No.
Well, watch some more Quentin Tarantino movies, and then Little Quentin.
We'll get put on Netflix, sure.
Yeah. Well, the
we're
Kill
getting
Bill's
very overtime, by the way.
Yeah. Well, you know, we're getting close. Okay, let's talk about Mike and Melissa.
Was that... You said one of them was something inspired by Chris Chan. Maybe you said that. Did you?
No, I didn't say it was inspired by Chris Chan, but I said it was something similar to what Chris Chan would make.
Yeah, this is...
Do you really have to ask if this is the one?
I don't know.
Did you watch all of Mike and Melissa, or did you quit?
Yeah, I watched all of it. It was really stupid.
Okay, so let me give you a little bit of extra context. And I want to say one thing. Before it sounds like I'm bullying this guy, I'm going to make fun of this short a little bit. But at the same time, the guy who made this was a little younger. Wasn't in high school anymore, but he just started college. This is something that they talked about on the Oni Plays episode, because that's where I learned of this, from an Oni Plays episode. It is a very embarrassing thing that he made. But at the same time, you know, when I started college, I made a little thing called Across the Fourth Wall, and someone could easily take that and make fun of it. I think the only difference between Across the Fourth Wall and Mike and Melissa is that Across the Fourth Wall is fucking boring, and Mike and Melissa is fucking fascinating. Now, let me tell you one thing.
Were there more episodes of this, or was this, like, the only episode?
The thing is, like, a bunch of classmates of his, like, shared this around, and, like, he got made fun of and bullied for it. So he stopped making stuff, and I don't support that at fucking all. I wish he would have kept the show going. But I feel bad for. I do legitimately sympathize with him, and I'll also say my animated series, while I think it dealt with a less cringy subject, was animated worse than his. When I did EDB, you remember that? That was a lot worse than Mike and Melissa's animation. But it didn't include Purple Fox Girl that he had sex with, so I think it's a little less cringeworthy, just being honest. But
I remember watching this and thinking it was, like, very ironic. I didn't actually think the animator was into this stuff.
No. And here's the worst part.
Because it sounded too stupid to be real.
He was a college student. This was 100% serious. 100% serious. He was a college student, and Mike and Melissa was his project. And it was played in front of his entire class. It has, like, a masturbation scene and all of that. And that was played in front of his class. So what do you think about Mike and Melissa now?
It's more about the... I mean, with that, it's just more about the psychology of the artist rather than the actual episode.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing, though. I find the whole thing really compelling. I honestly, I might link you the Oni episode if you have time. Watch it because I think that like it's Oni, Ding Dong, and Julian go over it. I think they do a really good job, a way better job than I'm going to just describing it. But the guy stopped making stuff because everyone made fun of him, and I don't think he deserved that. I really don't. I honestly, God, if he made more, I'd watch it. But I think the whole thing's really compelling because at the end of it, he's just like, he creates this imaginary thing in his head and he justifies it. And I do think that kind of goes into the artist's head a lot. He does this really weird thing at the end where he acts like pretending this one thing is real just because it'll make him happy and everything about life just makes him upset. He uses that as an excuse to be crazy. He like completely feels justified doing that. I don't know, like I think it's very funny to laugh at, but I also just think it's a really interesting character study of the person who made it. I think this guy could be up there with like Derek Savage and Tommy Wiseau with the weird stuff they've made. But I'm glad I'm able to talk about this, but I'm sorry you're not getting much to say about it.
I also am keeping in mind that we're going really overtime here. I don't want
it's
too big
okay,
of a file.
Like, you should still talk about this because this is the shit I recommended to you, and I'm talking about it more than you are.
Well, I don't have much to say about these. A lot of these, I don't really have much to say about them, honestly.
I'm sorry. Okay, I got something better for you next time. Okay. By the way, I think the last 3 episodes should be guest episodes, but we should do 2 more non-guest. I like doing the movie discussions, so we'll make we'll do 1 more next week, and then after that will be the finale of movie discussions for the season. Okay. By the way, do you want to bring this back in season 5, or do you want to just keep this as a season 4 thing?
Might as well.
Yeah. And finally, we have Cream. We don't have to. The music video is just something I wanted to share with you. I love that video, so that's the recommended video.
The music video was the only video, by the way, that I got to a point, and then I just started clicking randomly in the timeline. It was like, okay, this is the rest of the video. I know what this is.
I love it. No, fuck you.
And also for that first hour afterwards, that song was in my head. So thanks for that.
Oh, it's a great song. That's why it was stuck in your head, motherfucker. No, okay. So you know how I said in the live stream, the Oscars thing, that I wanted Black Panther win because that meant Monkey Jones had to watch Black Panther 24 hours on stream. Mm-hmm. What I didn't realize is that he said that he also said if Green Book wins Best Picture, he has to listen to that video for 24 hours live stream.
I saw the comment section. There was a bunch of Monkey fans in there.
And my God, the crazy bastard did it. That's how I learned of the song, because I watched, I went onto the live stream occasionally because he was doing it for 24 hours, where he was just listening to that song over and over again. He did it for 24 hours.
It's actually terrible.
I love that song, though. I think it's catchy as hell. I recommend it to everyone. Make it the recommended video of the week.
Oh, no.
And then finally we have Cream.
Yeah.
What'd you think of Cream? That's done by the same guy who does Salad Fingers, by the way.
Yeah.
If you've ever heard of Salad Fingers.
It was weird. It was really creepy and weird. I don't know. It was very... Let me think. I mean... I don't know how serious I should have taken it. I don't really think it's a scenario that actually would have happened.
No, but... It's not trying to be. It's again, it's exaggerated, but that's what art does. It exaggerates things.
I don't know what to think of it. I really don't.
I'm sorry. Alright, so my next recommendation for you is Monty Python Grail. I saw
that recently already. It was okay, by the way. It wasn't even that great. There were some jokes that were funny, but...
Fuck you.
It was overhyped for me.
So much.
I haven't seen Life of Brian yet, if that's on Netflix still.
I wouldn't recommend Life of Brian. I mean, I would recommend it, but I wouldn't one of my recommendations. I think that one's just okay. Yeah. I loved Holy Grail. Fuck you, Zach.
I saw it last week. I saw some clips from that movie, and it was funny, but the whole thing altogether, it wasn't perfect.
Here's one I think you'll like, because this is done. I think you'll like this one. From Dusk Till Dawn. It is. I think it's kind of.
You think it's kind of
From Dusk Till Dawn. It's on Netflix. It's an enjoyable film. Robert Rodriguez really early projects, and Quentin Tarantino is both an actor in it and has to do with writing it. So if you liked Pulp Fiction, this will be up your alley.
Cool.
And what's your recommendation for me?
So there's this documentary on YouTube that I haven't finished yet, but it's a show technically. There's episodes, and each 2 episodes are one part, pretty much, that touches up on a topic. The documentary is called The 2000s, and I don't want you to watch the first 2 episodes. I want you to watch episodes 3 and 4, which are about the politics in the 2000s with George W. Bush. I actually found it very interesting. I learned some new things. The first 2 episodes are about television, which you would think is a bit weird how I'm not recommending that. I will say that if you want to watch that...
Are there?
I don't know, but episodes 3 and 4 are mainly about the politics topic that I'm recommending to you. Episodes 1 and 2, by the way, about television in the 2000s. Vince Gilligan does talk about other shows in it, as well as Breaking Bad in the second episode, if you wanted to watch that at some point. But the politics part I found very interesting. Again.
Well, how many episodes? Do you know? Is it a complete series yet, or are there still new episodes coming out?
I don't know. I think it's a complete series. Right now, I finished the first episode of the technology one, which was episode 5. I haven't seen part 2 yet of it.
Can you tell me the name real quick, just so I can look up how much there is? 'Cause I might watch the whole thing.
Yeah, the documentary is called The 2000s on Netflix.
Oh, it's on Netflix?
Yep.
You said YouTube before.
Oh, sorry, I meant Netflix.
Okay.
They're each episode is 1 hour long, and yeah.
Well, the 2000s.
Mm-hmm. The politics part takes it shows from the election of George W. Bush becoming president up until he gives it over to Obama, and I think the journey is all that stuff that happened with the war and everything, and his decisions and everything else that happened during it. It's really interesting. I liked it.
There's 8 episodes, so if we wait 2 weeks to record the next DuckCast, maybe I can get through all 8.
Well, again, the only stuff I'm giving you right now is practically like a 2-hour movie. So.
Yeah, but I might actually be interested in watching all of it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Because I like completing things when I talk about them, just so there's not something I'm bringing up that may potentially be canceled out by something else that happens. So that was DuckCast episode 75. I hope that it was an enjoyable one. I mean, I think that it began really well, but I feel near the end it was really just I was not making a connection with you on those shorts, and I apologize for that. I thought we'd have more to talk about.
I said early on, I knew what you were recommending to me, and I knew it wasn't my thing. I could see why some people that are into that stuff would like it. Me personally, not my thing. I appreciate the animation though, and I appreciate the effort put into them.
I'm glad you we had a lot to say about.
What you cut out there a bit?
I said you had a lot to say about something terribly offensive, so I'm glad that one of them got to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. I'll have to talk about Mike and Melissa with Chris because he'll be able to say a lot about that. Because me and him talk about fucking Chris Chan almost every other call we do. I just think that's so up there. Again, I just want to make this clear. I would never encourage bullying the guy who did it because he's not even a bad person. Chris Chan, you can at least say he's said a lot of shitty things in the past. He's been racist and homophobic. But the guy who made this, it's the most harmless thing ever. It's just a really cringy animation, but I think it's fascinating to just picture the mindset of the person who worked on it. And that was the beginning of college. Maybe now he's a way more. Maybe right now, if he put something out now, it'd be a lot better. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I made it across the fourth wall. We all fuck up. Zach made Super Luigi, but didn't actually.
It didn't actually. Yeah. He's probably wet deep in pussy right now, dude. I mean, come on.
Probably.
Yeah, he's a billionaire.
If you're listening to this, Mike, I know you're absolutely fucking not. But if you're listening to this right now, Mike, we respect you. We both give you 2 thumbs up. Give another thumbs up, you insensitive prick. Okay.
Whoa, okay, wow. Hold up.
Make more stuff and I won't just make fun of you, I promise. Anyway, that's DuckCast 75. It's a lot of episodes.
Bye.
I'm gonna say the N word.